Hi everyone, today I'm going to be playing with the Sparkle Inks by Spectrum Noir, and you can download the line art at www.getsetcraft.com. So this week I was challenged to do a minimalist one line drawing where you just draw a representation of a picture without taking your pen off the paper, and this is what I came up with. So you can see that this cat has been drawn in a single line. So I took that and printed it out onto a watercolour card, and I'm going to be using the Sparkle Inks from the brush. So Spectrum Noir, they sell them in the brush form, but also you can buy them in jars, which is much more cost effective. You get a lot more ink in the jars rather than the pens. The one thing I would say about that is invest in a paint palette, because what you can do is shake up the glitter in the jars and pipette some of it out onto your paint palette, so that every time that you pick up the paint you can just swoosh around that glitter and make sure that it's not settled to the bottom. Also, you can leave it in the paint palette and let it dry out overnight, and just spritz it again when you're wanting to use it again, so you're not wasting any ink at all. So as I'm colouring my image, you can see that first off what I do is I'm placing down water onto the paper into the parts where I'm wanting to then colour, because then what happens is the watercolour spreads out only where it was actually wet. I can then go back in again with my water brush. So this is water barrel brush. You've probably seen me using these before. I love them. It's where the actual barrel of the pen is filled with tap water, and that goes out through the nib and onto the paper, which makes sure that your water is always clean. It's just a much easier way of doing it, and I'm not likely to spill over my water cup, which I've done many times. I just love watching how watercolours spread and merge. Not really sure sometimes what's going to happen, but that's okay, because you can just go back in again and manipulate it a bit more. So you can see I'm working with a black onyx sparkle pen and a light brown sparkle pen in this, and I'm also adding a little bit of the dark blue to add just a little bit more interest to it. I'm still not sure at this point where I'm going with this, just having fun playing with it and adding more and more as I'm going, just trying to make sure that I get a different contrast in the different areas, so that the different parts of the cat will stand out. So within my water brush I am just using normal tap water. There's enough sparkle in these sparkle inks that when you dilute it down to get your greys from the black and just dilute any of the really vibrant colours down, there's enough sparkle there that it will stay there if you just dilute it down with water. But if you're wanting to keep the sparkle really concentrated, you can use a clear sparkle ink, which you can just pour into the brush pens, or use one of the pre-made brush pens that Spectrum Noir sell. So I could have stopped anywhere at this point, but you know me, I keep going, and especially when I'm playing, I just want to see what can be done. when I didn't have a clear idea as to what I was going to produce at the end, so I just kept on adding more and more colour and spraying, spritzing with water, putting more things in, and he started to turn into a kind of celestial cat. Looked like he was emerging from a starry sky, so I went with that and started putting in some purples, some lighter blues, and then switched to my wash brush, which is also a water barrel brush, which is brilliant. Spectrum Noir also sell these, so you can get them as a 3-pack where you get a very fine brush nib, a medium-sized brush nib, and then a nice wash brush, and all of them are used with just normal tap water in the barrel if that's what you want, but you can put your sparkle inks inside them too. So you can see that when I'm using the wash brush, you get a slightly different effect with the watercolours. It spreads a lot more, and because there's a lot more water on the page, it really is beautiful and starts to merge and go in directions that you couldn't produce physically yourself. So it's just a fascinating process to watch. And again, I could have left it there, but no, I wanted to add some more colour. So I went and had a look at my colour wheel, and what was one of the complementing colours for the blues and purples was the oranges and reds. So I decided that that was what I was going to fill the top of my picture with. So again, first going in with my water to make sure that it's going only on the parts of the paper that I'm wanting it to. So I'm making sure that I'm trying to stay away from the line just slightly, because my printer, actually the ink that's in it is water reactive, so it will spread with the water. So as long as I don't go over the top of it with the water brush, it doesn't get too affected. You may find that some other printer inks don't react. It's just my make and model does. Perfect for alcohol inks, not so much with watercolours, but you can use it in a form that helps the spread, which I can show you in a video that I've done, which is the Rainbow Girl, which is on my channel. Then going in with some darker oranges and reds, and then just blending that out with my wash brush. You can see how these colours blend beautifully together, and they're so intense that the pigment within them that is so concentrated that you can just keep adding water and water, and you've still got such a bright, vibrant colour. If you know me at all, you know that if I do anything that's kind of mystical or celestial, then I've got to do some watercolour techniques. So I've done some faux bleaching here, where I'm just putting drops of water onto the darker parts of the image, leaving that to settle just for a little bit to redissolve that ink, pick it up, and then picking up those water drops with a clean paper towel, and you can see that it takes away some of the ink, leaving it lighter underneath. So when it was fully dried, I then went in with my Posca pens, which are acrylic pens, and I added some whiskers and some more stars into the darker areas, and decided to stop there. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you liked it. If you want to support me, please subscribe to my channel, go and visit my website, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.